machine learning, yeah? Because frequently machine learning engineers or any kind of engineer doesn't know the value he or she brings to the business, yeah? Or maybe business guys don't know the technology stack or something else to add value to their business. So I'm going to talk how we use AI, how we use machine learning to increase the benefits of our business, increase value, and raise money. So, what's e-commerce and how marketplace work? I'm going to briefly talk about what is a marketplace, how our business works in general. So, we have two main parties, seller and the buyer. So, and our job as Uzum Market is to connect these two parties. So we are not selling our items mostly, we are selling items which seller provides. If seller is just like a regular citizen, it's a businessman who wants to earn money, he or she manages stock with our application or website, it doesn't matter, and deliver his goods, products to the warehouse. And then buyer can find these items on our marketplace, and basically we operate this whole ship. So, Uzum Market is a one-day delivery marketplace. We have a pretty big warehouse here. We are pretty new, so we started operating just maybe 6 months ago. But we already have a really big warehouse. We have a photo studio. If you have ever tried our website, we have really nice photos of items because we have photo studio. We have a lot of sellers. It's over 1,000 sellers already in our ecosystem. And we have a lot of cities covered right now. So we are working in 26 cities. We have 56 delivery points as of now. And we are expanding really, really fast. We are targeting 82 delivery points at the end of February. You can see there are a lot of coverage here in Uzbekistan, and we are going to do a lot more during this year. So Uzum Market is a really a part of a bigger ecosystem. It's called Uzum. It's also pretty new. It's a few months, but there are a lot of projects and products you are really familiar with, like Capital Bank. I guess everybody's heard of it. Uzum Sia, Uzum Bank, Uzum Market, and Uzum Texor. And if we're talking about Uzum Market, right now we have 200,000 SKUs. That's basically a unique product which you can see in our marketplace, and we are targeting 800,000 at the end of this year. So, who has ever heard any of Uzum products mentioned here? Please raise your hand. I just want to check. Oh, okay. All of you. Who have ever tried Uzum Market? Because, a lot of you guys. It's really nice to hear. So I'm going to talk a lot more about how we use machine learning in Uzum Market and how it brings value to our business. So before I'm going to talk AI and machine learning, I'm going to start from business perspective, from how product sees itself. I'm going to talk about marketplace responsibility because, as I said previously, we are a party which connects to other parties, and we have responsibility in front of each one. So we have a responsibility to the buyer. We want to achieve like these things. We want to have unbeatable prices. Somebody asked me why we have high prices previously. Yeah, so it's our goal, and we want to have unbeatable prices. We want to have a wide range of items, so we want you to be able to order from us everything from the laptop, I don't know, maybe hair dryer, maybe you want to order, who knows, pizza from us, I don't know. We want you to have really nice navigation user experience, and basically delivery, payment, and support are must-have features. So, but we also have the seller, and usually it's hard to see seller perspective because seller is a B2B product, and let me check. Who is the seller in Uzum Market here? Wow, hi. So one person, yeah? As you can see, there are a lot of customers, but only one seller, and it's really proportionate. There are not so many sellers, but for sellers, we have also responsibilities. We, as a marketplace, want to have a nice turnover at best price for sales. So, as a marketplace, we provide traffic for sellers. We provide users who will buy seller items, and we have responsibility to provide that user base. We also want seller to make best decisions. I will talk later about how this impacts his economy, and we want to assist him in making decisions. It's really important in e-commerce to have a really nice content around your product page. Nobody will buy your item if it has no description, no reviews, if it has no sales history. There are a lot of managers, e-com managers who do this stuff for you, but we as a marketplace also see this as our responsibility to help new sellers sell brand new items. Also suffer. And we also have responsibility to the shareholders. Yes, so we are a business, we are operating, and we need to be profitable. And profitability, without why, is a very important topic for us also. Also, we are responsible for market making and policing because we are a marketplace and we are controlling what happens in our application. So, this is like the summary of our responsibilities, and I will later show you how this translates to a lot of different machine learning tasks. So, what about machine learning? There are a lot of machine learning happening, but I will box it later and talk about a little bit later. There are a lot of different tasks, but for me, from like a manager perspective, I divide machine learning tasks into two different groups. First group is like the largest group maybe, it's the added value group. It's when machine learning isn't the core idea of your product, it isn't the must-have feature, it's something you add gradually at the later stages. It's something which just optimizes the existing product. For example, you have a pricing strategy, yes? And you know what's the best price for your product. But sometimes you want to optimize this, you want a little bit better prices, a little better, like 5% better. Yeah, so you design some dynamic pricing algorithm. And the second kind is enabling. It's kind of features which is impossible to build your product without. For marketplaces, these enabling features is a search engine or recommendation systems. Because as I've said previously, they have a lot of SKUs. We have a lot of items on our marketplace. It's hundreds of thousands. And in next year, we'll have like 1 million, maybe 2 million items. It's impossible to make a purchase decision without search. So it's kind of enabling technology for us. Maybe it's not enabling technology for other businesses, but for us it is. So if we're talking about optimizing some process or enabling some process, I usually think in terms of money. I like money. I guess most of you does. So if we talk about marketplace economics, how it usually works, you can learn about how marketplace works from quarterly reports of public companies. I've attached a few here. For example, Amazon or Kaspi or Alibaba has really nice quarterly reports with finances. You can see how it works. Usually, there are sales from customers. Like buyer comes to your marketplace, he or she buys some item. It generates GMV, gross margin value. And there are some part of money which goes to the seller because it's his items, and some part which goes to the marketplace. Marketplace margin is usually pretty small. Marketplace operates on large number of orders. So seller margin goes to the SKU cost, how much money he or she spends on purchasing items from some other party item, maybe from China. Usually it's AliExpress, or maybe he or she made it, if we are talking about some artisanal products. Also, seller margin goes to the management cost, because sellers are operating as a business there. They spend time on writing content description, leaving review answers, bringing their stock to the warehouse, also, I don't know, managing returns, packing, taking photos maybe, and then he or she has his profit. Also, a lot of marketplace margin goes to operational expenses. Marketplace has a lot of operational expenses. We basically deliver and package your goods. We spend money to the people who work on delivery points. We give salary to the couriers, and so on. And marketplace has a little bit of profit. What does it mean? If we see from the seller margin perspective, yes, no, yes, no, it's marketplace perspective. 100% of our money, it's this thing which we mentioned on the customer sales. 80% of it goes to the seller. When we spend some amount to the warehouse labor, when we have buyer acquisition, basically marketing, advertisements, I guess most of you have seen Uzum advertisements, when we have cost of delivery, when we have shrink, when somebody maybe stole something or broke something, which is more likely, we have other administrative costs, and in the end, we are not profitable, and we are sad. I guess everybody will be sad if they are not profitable. And if we are unprofitable, if we are at loss, what can we do? So we have here three major groups. We have our income, we have our seller margin, and we have this large amount of operational expenses. So we have basically three groups here, yeah? So, and if we want to make more money, we either need to increase this thing, yeah? But how can we increase order value? It's just basically in terms of increasing price, and this is damaging for the buyer. We don't want to increase our price because the buyer will just go to another market and buy something from others. We can decrease seller margin, yeah, so basically we just give seller a little bit less, but it's also damaging because seller will just go to a different marketplace, or maybe he or she will open an Instagram shop and he won't do it. So we have our last resort, a lot of small operational expenses, and it's really good for machine learning, but there are a lot of different kind of operational expenses because we want to do a lot of added value. As I said previously, machine learning usually adds a little bit of value to your existing product, to your existing process. And in terms of marketplaces, it's really great because we have a lot of stuff which is decreasing our profits. But if we tune here, maybe 10% here, 10% here, 10% here, we are not making something radical. We are not inventing ChatGPT here. We are just using a little bit forecasting here, a little bit of classification here. I will talk about it later. And voila, we are not profitable, but at least not at loss. Congratulations. So it's a kind of our responsibility in front of the business, but we do it because we don't want to decrease this or this stuff. Decrease this for buyer, decrease this for seller, yeah? And in terms of seller, we also have the similar situation. We have a seller who is pretty happy with his income, maybe, I don't know, who am I to judge? But we have seller margin, this 80% we've spoken previously here, and a lot of this goes to SKU self-cost, but basically it really depends on the category, because electronics, for example, or FMCG are really different, but for a lot of small costs, some of them are hidden because it's just time spent on managing the marketplace, but for transportation costs, promotion costs, stock planning costs, administration costs, and seller has really kind of similar situation here. He or she cannot change SKU self-cost. How? He or she cannot manage seller margin because buyers will be not happy. And there are a lot of small costs which we want to help the seller with. So basically, we are not talking about loss of profit here. We are talking about increasing profit here, most probably. So, what about machine learning? I'm finally happy with marketplace knowledge you guys have right now. So I'm going to talk about machine learning we have at Uzum Market and how we use it to work with money. So this is the Uzum Market website, as you've previously seen, I hope so. So any answers is right from the audience? What do you think is the most important part here in this page?
To the attention of this customer.
You can shout, just shout.
Navigation. Search.
Search.
The categories.
Banner. Big banner. Search. What else?
Make user buy something.
Make user buy something. Yeah. So the search was kind of right answer. I said about it previously. It's an enabling technology for us. Search and catalog is the core of e-commerce, basically, because most of the users go either here or here, yeah? So to one of these two pages, because there are a really large number of users who just want to buy something at a discount, which is mentioned here or here, but during the lifetime of a user, a lot of users just go to these two places. And these two places are really heavy in terms of machine learning. I will talk about it in a few slides later.
So
And
the number 95 is not just random number, you analyze this number.
yeah, sure. So I guess it's even closer to 100, but in terms of like analyzing for a quarter, yeah, most of users have tried either catalog or either item search. So, and if you're looking not on the main page, but at the second most important page, like forget that it's like a smartphone, it's just a general item which you can find on our marketplace. What do you see here in terms of machine learning tasks? What can you imagine?
Rating.
Rating. What's with rating? Okay, somebody else? Just shout.
Keywords.
Keywords. Okay, keywords here. Good.
Discount.
Discount. Good.
I guess the main part is pre-processing the picture because all the picture in the marketplace is the same background, same phone. So I guess it's also available as machine learning doing it.
Picture pre-processing. Good. Quality of items. Also good. What else?
Ratings.
Ratings. What's with ratings? Ratings is not a machine learning feature, but you can turn it into machine learning.
So what was the question again?
What are the machine learning tasks you can imagine here happening on the simple product page?
Maybe not on this page, but maybe in the bottom there can be recommended system.
Good one, yes. So, actually there are 6 basic machine learning tasks you can find here. There are recommendations, but the screen is very long and it doesn't fit the slide, so you can imagine there are recommendations there. So, first of all, there are some number of computer vision tasks we do with product images. And yes, there are tasks which are happening with pre-processing. We are removing the background, we are compressing it, and so on. It's not really heavy machine learning. We tried visual search, and we are probably going to experiment with it further during this year. If you find yourself in A/B test with visual search, be happy. I don't know, maybe not. We are just trying it. So there are a lot of C/B tasks related to this. There are also a lot of NLP tasks related to the product title, yeah? So you extract keywords here, you use it for search and navigation, I'll talk about it later. There are also a lot of NLP connected with ratings, because when user leave rating, he usually also leave feedback, and feedbacks can be different. Some users leave their honest feedback, and it's usually correct, but there are sometimes malicious users, fraudulent users who leave their feedback just to annoy the seller, or maybe it's just not relevant. There is also a frequent case of pornography happening in feedback images. Users just post their bodies. So CV is also very important there. Forecasting or stock management. Here you can see we have how much items we have in stock for this item. And as I mentioned previously, it's really important for the seller to have a nice turnover of his items. So we want to manage the stock nicely. So what else? We have pricing models for promo optimization. Here we have the price. There is a small discount happening here, but who decided on this discount? Why it's this discount? Why it's this price? Who knows? We need pricing models for promo optimization for this one. And there are different kind of sets of machine learning tasks which can happen. And also we have recommendations, which somewhere there. Okay, going back to the search. So here we have some search results for telephone query. What's happening basically? Why search is considered machine learning heavy part of the product? There are actually 4 different groups of machine learning tasks happening. We can go from the bottom or we can go from the top. If we are looking at the top, it's like the user perspective. It's search query. There are a lot of different query manipulation strategies, how we can work with the query itself to optimize this for user search. Okay, yeah. So we have query rewrites, we have query detection, we have spelling correction, which is happening in the query. Also, we have different kind of groups of machine learning tasks. they are connected to the items you see on your page. Recall step of machine learning, which works with millions of documents usually. It's not really smart. It should be very fast because it's processing a lot of documents. And there are a big group of ranking methods. If you ever heard of ranking, ranking is a really good machine learning task which is present at most of our features. So when you're working with search, also you have query category detection. For example, if you're looking here and you write smartphone, Xiaomi Redmi Note, where is category detected, it also happens with machine learning. There is a classification method there. If you're looking at different kind of queries, we can predict not only a single query, we can predict many queries. There are a lot of things done with heuristics here, but there are also a big number of queries which are used by CatBoost, and there is just a classification model. Also, when we have a lot of categories here, we need to re-rank them because, for example, if you're writing Redmi Note 11, does it mean you need a case for your phone, or does it mean you need your phone? So we are re-ranking this also. So also we have suggestions in search. Basically, we need to generate a list of candidates, and later we are also re-ranking it. Also, if you will have slides, will we have slides after this? Do we share slides? I think so. Okay. You have a list of business metrics here we use to optimize our product. You have a list of machine learning metrics our machine learning engineers work to optimize. So you can check this later because we are short on time. Also in search we have ranking step. I do not have a picture for ranking because it happens on this image. But what do we do with ranking? We have a lot of features, not this slide because our features is NDA, but this is like kind of template we had a long time ago. We have a lot of different features and we assess how they can be used for your experience. Basically, we measure the sort of items in your feed loop. Also, we have product page recommendations. It's a recommendation group. We also measure whether you will click or not. And there are a lot of different types of recommendations. There are item-to-item recommendations, or there are recommendations for similar items. There are different groups. So we have cart page recommendations. And this is like, I guess, the most interesting thing for us because we are rolling out transformers now for this kind of stuff. So if previously we are using like really generic models, like we're using neural networks here and similarity models, but here we are using transformers. What else? We have marketing and we have uplift modeling. Previously we discussed with you about the promo price being get. So who decides what will be the discount? Yeah, and the right class of machine learning methods here called uplift modeling. Then basically you measure what will be the results of the treatment you provide to your user. So we are not right now not using uplift model to make this discount. It's marketing efforts, but we can try to do so, and we are experimenting with it. So what else do we have? We have forecasting for stock management. This is like kind of more an internal feature right now. We are not rolling to the seller, but we are using it to optimize warehouse stock, and we are using it to check how different items will sell on the horizon. So we are looking on the category itself, we are looking at the item, and we are thinking, should we bring more of this type of items to our warehouse or should we not? What else do we have? We have price management, basically open questions, and we talked about it previously. We have buyout fraud forecasting. It's also an important part. Sometimes sellers who provide items to our warehouse gets frauded because other sellers are trying to buy their stock out. They're just ordering a lot of their items to the delivery point and not buying this stock out from the delivery point. And this seller is really unhappy because his stock gets frozen on the delivery point, and we are trying to classify this kind of orders very able to be bought out or not, and if it's fraudulent, we just ban this user. Do not try this at home, guys. Also, we have moderation. We have feedback validation. So basically, every feedback user provides goes through a moderation process by a set of people who knows which kind of feedbacks are good ones and bad ones. And it's a lot of feedbacks and a lot of human work, and we want to optimize it so these guys can do something creative for our platform instead of reading bad feedbacks, and we are automating it, right? Also classification can boost.
So maybe that picture is not something fraudulent, it's just a real picture of sad customer.
Actually, this is a meme I put over the fraudulent feedback. It's there is not a really nice feedback there. You should not see it.
Definitely not.
Definitely not right. Nargiza wasn't happy with her order. Well, is it all? Well, kind of yes. So I just skimmed a lot of different machine learning tasks because we don't have much time. But I want to emphasize that e-commerce is really large in terms of machine learning different tasks. There are 500,000 results about e-commerce machine learning methods you can find on Google Scholar, and it's basically most of it is from industry. There are a lot of big companies like eBay, Amazon, they are doing a lot of research stuff in these things, and it's really making business profitable, and it's really worth to work on. So all this stuff is really just a small part of what I try to prepare to talk to you guys about working with e-commerce and machine learning. And what does it all mean? It means that e-commerce has a lot of machine learning use cases. Yes, it's the last slide actually. So I wanted to say to you that we have a lot of machine learning tasks available at e-commerce, and it's really interesting to work on. So hit me up, I'm hiring. It's time for questions. We have 3 minutes. Thanks.
I think each slide of you can be like separate big form.
Yeah, I wanted to share it with you guys later so you can just check it.
Regarding the machine learning models, you have so many ML models, so, and yours, I guess, so far you have started your business. How did you manage to collect so many data and train the model? I know it takes a lot of time, or you purchase the data from other external sources.
That's actually a good question. No, we are not purchasing external data. Purchasing external data is an extremely valuable task, usually for these kind of reasons. Wow, that's not me. But basically, if you're working with fraud management, sometimes you want to buy data from maybe government to check whether this phone is a fraudulent phone or it's a valid user, yes? But we are not, as of now, buying any kind of data. We are working with data we have, and actually we have a lot of users. So as of now, I guess our ecosystem at all has 5 million users, and it's a lot of data provided. And most of these machine learning methods can be set up with our amount of data. It's, I actually think it's kind of a myth that machine learning requires really big data. I don't think so. It works just fine.
In the beginning of your presentation, you talked about many products of Uzum. And can you talk a little bit more about Uzum Test Core?
That's a good question. It's our food delivery application, which will be launched, I don't know when it will be launched, for friends and family in April. I guess it will be launched publicly either in May or maybe later, but it's happening and will be soon.
So it's only for food?
Yes, food delivery basically. Okay, any other questions? I guess it's time. So thank you very much. It was a great audience.
Видео отключить.
No. Raw Uzum Market is just acquired company like Umbrella. Yes, it's kind of yeah, so raw
So what kind of requirements
our application. We don't have to open right now. We have the marketing here.